Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Age of Fear 2, the Chaos Lords. Now, let us dive into the game and show off all the lovely new features. Here we are on the world map, looking very, very smart indeed. So let's start off this crystal then, shall we? Let's see what it does. The adventurers see before them a crystal cluster protruding from the earth. Your hero are able to reach one of the crystal shards. Location will reset daily. Come tomorrow to get another shard. So it's like, is it like a item? The adventurers see before them a crystalline cluster protruding from the earth. The enormous glowing formation exudes an intense magical presence, and the atmosphere hums with energy that they know to be one thing: raw magic. An exposed mana source such as this poses to the risk. Concentrated power contained in the brilliant stone might flare up any moment. Even if the adventurers dare to tread closely, they feel the push from impossible electric aura at the mana source itself. We're imploring them to slip away. Looking down, though, they see spotted some scattered crystal shards that must have broken free. Blah blah blah. Arm's reach. So basically, it is some kind of reusable item. I think I didn't quite figure this out at the time when I was doing it. I thought there was going to be some like kind of interaction thing because of like the wisdom icon, but obviously there wasn't. Yep. Just trying out all the options. We'll go along to the smugglers one at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, this is weird. New items have been added to your cache. You got him back. Well, okay, that's strange. I don't know why I am having that. I had to talk to the developers about that. So yeah, here are our lovely, lovely troops. And we can upgrade them. We can finally get dual wield for Katzog, which is lovely. Give him also greater war rune, which makes it even tougher. I like giving my orcs shield break because it means that if they're fighting tougher creatures they can just plough through them. But now I have to save because I need to get the upgrades to the Black Orc and Chieftain, which I suspect is coming soon. Finally get to upgrade trolls to Troll Thrower, which is very nice. And I don't think I'll get the war rune. So this is just a general going through. I give sealed break to some of the orcs that have more experience because obviously they'll get more back if they survive the next battle. Yeah, the sealed break's a nice ability, especially if we're fighting big, nasty, tough monsters. I consider making him a troll thrower, but I want to get the XP boost for him, like the next level. Poison immunity though, and I changed my mind at that. It's one of these things, isn't it? Sealed break. Decide not to get it for that orc. Taz. I discuss with myself to get the raw meat diet, which is always very nice. But I'm so close to getting the elite status. So it's the same. I want to basically hold off and get the next upgrade for him. I put out and I grab some. I get the next veteranry level, which is always very nice. Which is very, very nice indeed. I consider getting the poisoned flasks. I think I get one for one of the goblins. So I want to try it out, but the problem is that because we're going to be facing up against goblins, poison stuff isn't the best combination to have, unfortunately. to buy some more stuff. I get Iron Mind for my sappers just because I don't want them to be used against me, which is a nasty combination you can do. I doubt the AI will have the same problem though. They'll probably have everybody with Iron Mind in the coming battle, so that's never a nice thing to have to face. Same with these orcs. I don't really upgrade them because I want to save up their XP so they can get the next level that I want them to get. And they're sort of my backup crew. Same for him. I do get the next veterancy level for him though. Now I consider getting Warlock. This is the problem. I mean, this guy hasn't got that many abilities, unfortunately. I mean, in hindsight, it might have been better just to keep him as like a warlock or a shaman rather than as a warlock, just for the pure dispel abilities that he has. Anyway, I decide at this point that it's good to basically get, now that I have dual wielding, I can get rid of Dragon's Teeth, which is giving me 2 attacks, give Poisoned Axe, and at this point I get a bit annoyed because I realised that the vampiric daggers disappear, so I sort of look over my options and I decide that it's probably better to go with Swamp Mace, because Swamp Mace gives enemies that attack me the disease penalty, which is something that you have from ghouls, and it really stacks and it's really, really nasty. Looking at the magical sword, it's mostly an anti-mage weapon. It gives higher magical resistance though, which is nice. I decide on the mace because obviously disease is very, very nice. -1 attack, -1 defense for 6 to 8 turns, and it stacks, which is very, very pleasant. So we buy that, we equip it. Can't have a shield. At this point I go for the meteor armor because it gives you like, it's nice, but the problem I have unfortunately with it is that it gives us more HP and more defense, but it drops our speed, which is a shame. But it's not a massive problem. Now, Amulet of Destruction, that's an interesting. I go for it because it gives double damage, which is really, really sweet. Unfortunately, -2 attack, -2 defense really sucks. I took a risk using it. I was hoping it was going to pay off. Yeah, I'm not massively happy with the stats decrease, but there's not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately. Because that double damage is really sweet. Really sweet. Go for the rings. Just fiddling around the potions and stuff. I couldn't do much work with the potions at this stage because obviously this is like a bonus place, like a bonus upgrading centre or something, I think, so you don't actually have much access to buying stuff. Either that or the thing is just glitched and I don't have access to it. I don't know, I'll have to talk to developers about it, because this is supposed to be like a bonus event. Like these side things that we've been coming in contact with are supposed to be like bonus interaction stuff like you get in Hard West or other RPG games where it's mostly dialogue based. So I think it might have glitched slightly. They've only just implemented it, so they might be having problems with it. See, the crystal armor still hasn't kicked in for the shaman, for Hurl. I don't know why. Decided to get Ring of Bless, which is really nice. Didn't use the ability for it though. I forgot to use it in the battle, which sucks because that would have been really, really nice. Get a whole load of magical items for my characters. The Brooch of Luck is very nice because it increases your rarity of random items. All-seeing eye is very nice because it's iron mind, so I get it for Katzog to stop him from getting mind controlled, which would be pretty horrendous for me at this point in the game. And then I just go for the normal stuff of giving potions to people and blah blah. The same. It's the same setup that you normally do. It's that you give basically one healing potion and one sort of support potion in the form of either Brute's Brew or the Swiftness potion or the antidote. I personally, with the magical users, like to have a healing potion and a mana potion of some sort. And with that done, I don't know what was happening with these things. I think they might have glitched or something. I know that one gave an item because I found it later on in the inventory, but I don't know. Maybe they're having problems or something. Shadowmask, where we played as the Necromancer, where you start off in. That's what I found really cool. You played the Necromancer, that's where you start.
A few days later, they reached the end of the dull grey-brown swamp. They entered what gradually turned from lush green forest to wide open plains that were so much quicker and easier to travel. Soon they arrived back in Katzok's homeland and made their way across clan territory towards the clan fort. "Katzok, Razir be waiting. Katzok strong, but need more warriors. Make sure never alone," advised Hurl. "Katzok no fear, Razir. But Uncle Hurl think Katzok need more warriors? Katzok get more warriors. Hurl have gold left from dwarves. Hurl keep for Katzok. Hurl get Katzok strongest warriors." The warlock stopped and stood thinking for a moment. "Razir no smart. Hurl think Katzok bring warriors outside fort. Orcs no throw rocks from walls if can't hurt brothers. Then they come."
Good plan. And then we're into this screen. I did most of it already, so it's not a huge thing. You get 2,000 gold. Now, yeah. It's one of these situations where, because obviously I'm doing post commentary for this, so I'm looking back on this footage and I'm seeing the mistakes I've made, and it's a bit painful. It's the kind of, oh, if you knew what I know kind of thing now, because it was a really hard fight. See, this is when I realised that the Mana Shard is actually an item that we've picked up. Like, it's basically, it says it doesn't take up a potion slot, but it does. So I don't know if that's something that, if that's something that developers want to fix, because at the moment it's basically taking up a potion slot, which sucks. Because see, at the moment I take that potion off, I'm limited to 2 now. So it's like, not particularly fantastic. Yeah, so I take the shard off. I'm not particularly that interested with it anyway. It's a nice item. Sorry, it's a nice item, but I don't know. It removes mana burn, which is useful, but at the moment it's glitched, and because of the way it works, it's not really worth having. I'd rather equip like a potion, a decent potion. I don't give him the full like Essence of Life healing potions. I think it would be better on the other characters. Give it to Taz because he needs it. But then I realised he doesn't need it, so I gave it to Katzok instead, which is always very pleasant. I don't know. I give him Brute's Brew as well because obviously his attack value has gone down, which sucks. I don't know. I was just a bit. The thing is that in this upcoming fight, it's not that like I make mistakes, it's just really bad luck on my point. So when I set up this group here, I set it up to be like my standard operating procedure, like a particular setup. Make sure that everyone has a healing potion because the orcs don't get healing spells, and make sure the tougher creatures have either an attack or a defensive buff or something else that's useful. In hindsight, I don't know. I don't think I needed to take that extra orc. This is the issue. Like, what I'm looking back on my previous like play, and seeing how I could have done things differently, because it was a really close run fight that's coming up, and I don't know.
Orcish gangs were always led by the strongest and meanest brute around. The same applied to clans, and the chieftain had to be the strongest warrior in the settlement. The orcs traditionally held a ritual to find the strongest warrior. The chieftain and his challenger would participate in one-on-one combat with blunted weapons looted from their victims. Unfortunately, this ritual was not as practical as it could have been, and it became easier to simply barge into the chieftain's tent with a sharp weapon and attack. After Hurl's urging, Kadzok sent the Shadow Clan to disturb his clan, and then used warriors who could fight from a distance to pull the orcs out of the fort. Kadzok did not understand the point, and he would rather have cut his way in and killed Razir. But the warlock had said, "Orcs outside mean space inside. More space mean easy kill." As many warriors and beasts flooded from the clan's fort, Kadzok and his strongest orcs charged through the gates, hacking down all in their path. "Razir!" roared Kadzok. "Smelling son of goblin! Come taste Kadzok's axe!" Kadzok charged through the gatehouse, and, seething with rage and impatience, he strode across the camp to where Razir had emerged from his tent. "Kadzok! I spit Kadzok's skull and eat eyes! Razir warriors, kill traitors!" With bellowed war cries, the pair ran towards each other, axes waving, swinging, and hacking.
Here we go, folks. Let's see what we've got to face. An absolute ton of them. Man, that sucks. Katzog is weak. No, Katzog's not weak anymore. Razel will bash Katzog's skull. Good day to die. Good day for Razir to die. Your hero is dueling an enemy champion. He will be attacking by himself until he or his opponent is dead. Which sucks. Right. We do 2 damage, which is nice. But my defense is low, so we need to get up there as quickly as possible. Not good at all.
No. What do you want?
The first thing I noticed about the group that we were facing was that they have a lot of shamans.
Tasty.
And the problem with this game, well, not the problem with this game per se, I make a mistake here. I should have probably moved the assassin up sooner so he could support sooner. I won't say it's like a problem with the game per se, but the way that I suppose you could say like the action dynamics or the game mechanics basically work is that if your magical users are outnumbered 3-to-1, the magic economy of the game, I should be saying, the magic economy of the game really heavily turns against you, which is a really bad thing.
Tasty.
Because see, they've got 3 shamans, they've got something at the back which is punching out a whole host of stuff, which is not pleasant. And up comes these guys, which is gonna suck. There's just so many of them. Yeah, nasty thing, dispel magic, life drain. We kill him off quite easily. Doesn't really help us that much, unfortunately. And now I forget, and now I come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, they're goblins, they either have poison resistance or poison immunity, which sucks. None of my people are in range, which also sucks.
To war. I go kill.
I also make a mistake here of charging my ogre up trying to kill off the goblin, because by doing so I put him in range of the enemy's warlocks who have hypnotise, which is really, really nasty. So I don't know, I made mistakes. I was hoping to try and kill off the sapper as quickly as possible, and I get that one, which is not too bad.
No match for me.
Yes?
I don't know, I make a lot of mistakes in this battle, but the one that costs me the most is coming up. Basically, I have manoeuvred that particular ogre up there in the assumption that I could kill him in kill the sapper in one turn and save myself some pain. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out.
Let's crush
So what I then attempt to do is buy myself some time. Unfortunately, what I do next is really stupid, which I move the sapper up there, which puts him into range of demolition, which is really bad because, as you can see, when these guys go off, they chain reaction each other, which sucks.
Yes.
Healing themselves. Dispel mind control. He heals himself. Mind control him. And this is when it goes downhill because he hits him. He's also given enough movement to that sapper to basically go off on his own. I hate the netters. They're so frustrating in this fight. Yeah, I just did a lot of bad mistakes, and I see that he detonates, kills off loads of my people. Yeah, it's just a really bad situation. I should have pulled my people back slightly. And baited the sappers to come towards me. I either mind controlled one of them or mind controlled someone that could be charged off. Yeah, it's just bad. It's just so bad.
Me fight.
Take control of him and try and buy myself some time. It works slightly because I managed to get one of the shamans out of the way, which is very, very useful. What I should have done though was I should have charged it up the back into the rest of the goblins, killed off most of the goblins, which would have broken the orcs. I make a number of mistakes in this. Yeah, it's just really frustrating. Looking back on it now, so frustrating. I also at this point forget that because the goblins have poison resistance, there's no point charging Katzog off after them, and he should basically head straight for fighting the biggest, nastiest monsters. That sapper's put out of commission because of the netters, which means he's pretty much useless.
Let's draw some blood. Faster.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm tempted actually not to have brought the sappers to this fight, or at least done them slightly differently.
I find them dead.
Because at the moment they're really not serving my purposes that well. These guys heal up. It's basically at this point it's in a bad situation. I had a couple of opportunities where I could have turned it around, but I didn't manage it. The sapper detonation earlier, when I could have taken out loads of the goblins and broken their morale massively, could have worked. Also, at the time, Catsog, I didn't realise that basically because the goblins had poison resistance and I was wasting my time attacking them with Catsog, I sort of literally just been focusing on the big orcs, because in a couple of turns he can kill a big orc. So I sort of just basically been focusing down individual orcs. Yeah, it gets bad, to be honest. Also, Taz not hitting stuff really doesn't help. I also forgot to cast like Bless and stuff, which really sucks.
Yes.
I try and take out one of the ogres with another ogre, which is useful because hopefully I was hoping to try and break people.
Yes.
I considered trying to heal up on the goblins, but it wouldn't be enough. You need chain damage. Like, I should have probably have used chain lightning at that point. The problem is I'm still sort of reeling from the fact that my guy has literally just been tanked by I lost like loads of my people in like one turn, which sucks. I also don't focus fire down. I don't focus fire down my enemies enough with my assassins, which really sucks. I should have put 2 on the guy that had just been poisoned, so he died off.
Let's draw some blood.
Which is a bad use. I mean, I manage it, but it's just like I don't do as well as I could have done.
Slaughter.
I really needed to have another. I think this is the problem I was talking about. I didn't have another mage in the fight, so when it came to magic economy, I was massively behind my opponent because he could constantly see that he brainwashes him, and I need to basically then. This is the problem I'm having with Taz. Like, Taz is really useful, but he keeps on getting. It's not a great situation. I think I needed to have I really needed to have another shaman, like another shaman or warlock in this fight, just to be a dedicated anti-mind control person. And so I could have one person being very aggressive and one person being very, very dispel magic. Yeah, my brain's at this point now. My brain is literally sort of like going, I dispel him, which means I get some control over him again, which is nice. But yeah, I seriously need to. This was the thing I realised at this point in the game, was that I didn't have enough spellcasters in my group. I really needed to have a backup spellcaster to be predominantly the person that just stands there and just spams out Dispel. Just have someone that's there to dispel Hypnotise and dispel all those nasty passive effects, so I can use Hurl, who has nice chain abilities and stuff, so I can use him to basically knock down all the. And this is my other mistake. I forget that the goblins have poison immunity, so I'm like hitting them at 10%. I could have gone for the orc, killed the orc. It would have been bad, but it would have been manageable. Yeah, I just made bad mistakes, and it cost me dearly. It really cost me dearly.
I find her dead.
See, he gets hypnotised again. Which is bad. It's just bad. Plus the guys, my guys constantly being netted, so they're not doing anything, which sucks. Just from here I just become really, really frustrated. He can't move because he's netted. He can't hit the goblin because the goblin has poison resistance. So he's like no way of hitting him. He can't get down there. I sort of literally not charged Catsog up there. I sort of held him back. I sort of killed off the other bigger orcs. shouldn't have shot him for a start. So he still can't move because he's got netted. He's been constantly being netted, which sucks. If you guys can't figure it out at this particular point in time, this fight isn't particularly going well. I'm going to be honest with you, I actually do lose this fight. It's a very close run loss, but it's still a loss nonetheless, and I'm really annoyed by it. I make about, if we're being honest, I make 3 critical errors. One was not taking another magic caster into battle, and I sort of realised it at this point in the game, especially with more magical casters turning up. 2 was like the misuse of my sappers. I could have used my sappers differently. I could have used the sapper that I had mind controlled differently and been more effective. 3 was my poor use of Katzok himself going after goblins. I should have stayed back and I should have just pummeled down the enemy orcs. 2 turns you can kill an orc, which in this point in the game is pretty impressive. I should have just pounded down the enemy orcs, but I didn't, which really, really sucks. I also have the problem that with Taz constantly being mind controlled, it's really, really bad. To be honest, you want to have Taz almost out on his own, just because if you're in a group of people and he gets mind controlled, he switches backwards and forwards and does all kinds of horrific damage. It just goes so badly wrong. Basically it was a mixture of a couple of things. I made some mistakes. I didn't have a particularly good counter magic build set up for my party, which meant that they had 3 magic users and they literally beat me over the head with it. I still can't hit him, which sucks.
So-called warriors.
I mean, my particular build for Katzok at the moment works well, but he works well against things that don't have poison immunity. So he would have needed to basically, I said, focus down the other orcs. He would have needed to focus down the orcs, focus down the ogres. To be honest, as soon as he had dealt with the enemy leader, he should have pulled back and gone to one of the flanks and just chewed for one of the flanks. Or at least charged into a group of most of the orcs and just killed most of the orcs. But yeah, I mean, I just make mistakes. Just make so many. I don't make like a load of them. I make like three critical mistakes, which is what does for me, and it just wrecks it. So it's not fantastic. He's still netted because he's been netted pretty much the entirety of the game because of that one netter that's up in the corner that's constantly netting him, so he can't do anything. In hindsight, I think I should have either dropped one of my sappers and just gone for having like that actually might work. I think I might just drop one of my sappers or drop one of my assassins, go for another shaman, and go for a warlock, and have him set up so he can just basically hypnotise the enemy and chuck them back against themselves. Also, I needed to have fallen back slightly so that their sappers didn't get within range. I haven't fought enough of my own. I haven't fought enough orcs in this particular Let's Play to remind myself of the tactics that I needed to use against them. See, I keep on going after the goblins. Why didn't I just kill the orc? If I had killed the orc, it would have been so much easier. He would have taken poison damage. He would have died. Things that I could have done differently, eh? I think next time I will definitely beat this scenario. Definitely beat this scenario. And he gets netted again. He rallies. Can't figure out why Taz didn't do 2 attacks at that point. Pop that because I have nothing else better to do. He can't move because he's just rallied. I try and get him to kill that
I find
goblin
them dead.
so we can kill morale.
Yes.
Get him to heal up. The thing is, at this point I could still technically win, except Katzog is pinned. And they do what's smart, and they basically come on and basically pummel Katzog. And they put curse on him, tie everybody down. For this reason, I don't understand why they focus on Taz. Because when it comes to my turn, Taz just does this and kills both of them, which breaks the troll, which breaks the ogre again. See, this is the thing I needed to have targeted the goblins. If I killed the goblins, it would have broken the orcs and stuff, and they would have kept running. And I could have advanced and taken advantage of it, but basically I mess up at this point, which sucks.
On them.
Really sucks. I lose it at this point because I think the archers basically focus fire me down. Oh, was it next turn? No, it's now. Yeah, they kill me now. I could have still potentially have won, but I would have lost so many people. It would have been painful too. In some ways, I was happy that I lost. But
Katzok raised his axe as an enemy approached.
So frustrated.
As he did so, he was
I made a
struck
couple of
a
really
fatal
bad
blow
mistakes.
by
And it
another
basically cost me
warrior
the
who
game.
attacked him from the side. No!
I think next time
Katzok, no,
I will
die!
drop one of my sappers.
He yelled,
I'll take
falling
one
to
sapper
the
that
ground
has
for the
iron
last
mine, drop
time.
the other sapper.
The enemy drove his weapon through Katzok's chest, bringing the orc's life to an end.
I don't know, I mean, I need to have another shaman. But that's for next time. I've been Cornish-Knight, this has been Age of Fear 2, I hope you've enjoyed. And I shall see you all, if you have liked, please press the like button, if you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button, and I'll see you all next time on the next episode of Age of Fear 2. Goodbye.